Also coming up, we're going to give away tickets to Chicago and the Doobie Brothers this hour. I promise. And every day this week, we're going to be giving away 2 tickets to a different concert this summer, part of the Live Nation kickoff to summer ticket promotion. So stay tuned for that. And the authors of Shattered, Inside Hillary Clinton's Doomed Campaign, Jonathan Allen and Amy Parnes, are going to join us later this hour as well. But right now, we have a special announcement on The Mark Cox Show.
The Mark Cox Show Storm Mode.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My friend Russell Kinsaul, who is in storm mode for KMOV Channel 4, is joining me right now from down in the Eureka area. Russell, I set that up just for you, buddy.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you, Mark.
You're very welcome. I've been there many times. Trust me, I know the feeling. So where are you right now? You in Pacific, Eureka?
I'm in Eureka. We just drove from Eureka High School, where the superintendent, Dr. Eric Denost, was helping a couple of dozen students put out sandbags. They are getting new reports this morning about the river levels, and with those new reports, it looks like the water is going to be higher than they thought yesterday, so they are reinforcing the sandbag walls they have there at the school. As you remember, in the December 2015, 2016 flood, they had water that got into the gym, and they had to replace 3 gym floors, so they're trying to protect the school, which is closed today. They're at Eureka High School. Also, the LaSalle Springs Middle School is closed. And they have 3 elementary schools there. But in downtown Eureka, Old Town Eureka, there are a couple of hundred volunteers frantically filling sandbags and building a wall up 4 feet to 6 feet high to protect businesses. Last time around, in that last flood, they had 120 homes and businesses in Eureka that were damaged by flooding. So there's a major effort going on to protect homes and businesses here today.
Yeah, Russell, I-44 is still open as of right now, correct?
It is open. Route 141, Highway 141 is closed there at 44, but MoDOT is saying that they will probably have to close 44 sometime tonight. So that's also going to impact thousands of commuters who normally take 44 into work. The truck traffic that normally passes through town on that highway, so that's going to have a huge impact. MoDOT will be announcing the timing on that a little bit later in the day, but that's going to have a huge impact.
Yeah, I wondered about that, and I saw an interview that one of your reporters did with Karen Yeomans earlier, the district engineer for MoDOT. All of that construction they're doing there at 141, isn't part of the reason for that to ultimately be able to avoid the flooding that they tend to get there, even in minor rain situations?
Well, what they're going to be doing is they're putting that flyover ramp, so it's easier for the traffic that is looking to get on 44 and go downtown in the morning to be able to not have the backup they normally do. They will include some improved drainage.
Okay.
That will help during flash flooding, to alleviate flash flooding, but it would be a huge expense for them to raise the highway and 141 to avoid any sort of flooding from river flooding. But the focus of that project and flooding is flash flooding. They said that it will not be anything that would alleviate the flooding caused by the Merrimack spilling its banks.
Wow. That's a tough situation. I know that, Valley Park is basically evacuated at the moment?
They have evacuated, and I believe that the National Guard is being posted there at the entrance to some neighborhoods so that no one can come in, and that is what the mayor there announced, an evacuation of some areas of Valley Park. So it's pretty serious business. They're expecting water to be within a couple of inches of where it was in December 2015, January of 2016, and those were record levels. So it's going to be really close to that this time around.
What a mess. When do they think it's going to crest? Middle of the week?
It looks like it might be late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. Looking at high water somewhere, Wednesday's probably the peak of when the water will be high. But it's one of those things, depending on how much water backs up from the big river in Jefferson County and how much more rain we get over the next couple of days will determine how long that water will stay up. It could be till the end of the week before roads start opening up again.
What a mess. I'm going to be watching tonight at News 4 at 5 o'clock, and I expect to see you in a pair of hip waders out in the middle of this somewhere.
You're not going to see me in hip waders walking around the water showing, hey, I'm a reporter, look at me, I'm standing in the water. I prefer to stay out of the way of the people who are working and not put myself in danger so I have to get rescued. So I have waterproof boots on, but I'm not going to go splashing around. You're not going to see me in a boat floating along in 3 inches of water just for show.
Well, you be safe, my friend, and tell all my buddies there at Channel 4 I said hello.
I will as well, and thanks for your good wishes. It's going to be a long week.
I'm sure it is. Russell Kinsaul, thanks so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Take care, buddy. That's Russell Kinsaul from KMOV News 4. Russell Kinsaul, News 4. Reporting live down in Eureka, just left the Eureka High School area there on 109, headed down toward downtown Eureka, which has its own problems right now. In the next hour, we're going to get former House Speaker Tim Jones. He's agreed to give me a call. He's down there kind of fighting the good fight, helping with the sandbagging efforts in downtown Eureka, where he has an office. And it got flooded the last time around, and they're going to try to avoid that, of course, this time around. You know, I was really surprised. If you've been down that stretch of I-44, and I know that Jason goes that way every day because he lives in the Eureka area, I had to go buy some lumber to repair my deck, and I went to that 84 Lumber, which is on the outer road on the north side of 44, just past 141, just west of it. And I'm in there waiting for the guy to go find some lumber that I needed or ring something up. And I walked back into their offices, and on their wall, they've got a piece of wood that indicates where the water level was in 2015. So I realized, I guess, that 44 had shut down at 141 back in 2015. I didn't realize the water went as far west as that 84 Lumber building, which is toward, what is it, the animal park there. Is it Lone Oak Park? I was going to say
Oak, yeah.
Wild Oak Park. Yeah, so it really covered a huge area down there.
Oh yeah, I mean the big thing that you've got down there. We actually live kind of halfway between Eureka and House Springs, and what a lot of people don't realize is aside from the Merrimack, which everybody talks about, you've also got the big river down there, giving you a 1-2 punch on a lot of the roads around there, especially on 30.
Oh sure,
yeah,
and a lot of that's shut down. I can remember the even back in 2015, people putting out the memes about. Calling it an island. They were on the
Island.
Cedar Hill, Fenton Island or something like that because they were basically cut off to the north.
That's what we're dealing with right now. We're out of a house at this point. Luckily, our friend is staying there and keeping track of the animals and stuff, our cats and dogs. But the way that it's set up in our area, there's only 2 ways in or out, and that's either W down to 30 or W up to 109, and both of them are cut off at this point.
Wow.
So that's exactly what happened last time in 2015 as well.
We'll have to send the 97-1 chopper down there to pick you up and bring you up here in the morning to be like Les Nessman. I'll be beating on my chest.
I was going to say I didn't know we had the budget for that this year.
Well, let's get on the horn with Jeff Allen about that and find out what's going on.
Well, one of the things that hopefully we'll talk to Tim about later on too is I think that they were calling for a lot of volunteers down there. I mean that was just devastating back in 2015 to the downtown Eureka folks. A lot of great businesses down there that came darn near ruination because of that. But I think they're still down there sandbagging, and hopefully Tim will give us an update on what their needs are.
Yeah, and I hope no one thinks that I'm making light of the situation. I mean, it's miserable. And, ultimately, as a business owner, yes, you have insurance. But when you have an incident like 2015, or you go back to 93, 94 for that matter, which you don't think is supposed to be a 500-year situation, not going to happen again anytime soon.
Then 2 years later,
their insurance rates are going to they're going to have to go through the roof, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
If you know that you're constantly running the risk of an expense like that.
Yeah, there was recently down in our area there was a developer that was coming in looking to build new houses, and it was right in that area where the Merrimack is. And of course, they said, okay, well the 2015 floods are over with. Let's start building now. And then this comes along, and planning and zoning said, forget it. So
yeah. Well, no, and you can understand that on some level. I remember when there was that discussion about some of the homes in West Alton after '93. I mean, how often do you go back in and rebuild in a situation? I understand it's people's homes are involved. How often do you go back in and rebuild in a situation where you know there's a very good chance in a couple of years those are going to get wiped out again?
Yeah,
and that's That's scary. That's scary stuff. That's for sure. So we'll continue to cover this. We'll check in with Tim coming up in the next hour. I don't know if you go. Probably the greatest thing I saw this weekend on television and media coverage was that Edmonton game, that hockey game. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
Did you see it, Liz? So I know you're not a big hockey fan, and neither am I. But this thing went viral. So they have a country music singer come out who's apparently Canadian and American. I guess he's got dual citizenship. Yeah. And he's going, it's in Edmonton, Canada, and he's going to sing the national anthem for the U.S., and then they were going to play the national anthem for Canada.
Okay.
Arena's packed with Canadians because it's in Canada.
Right.
He comes out and his mic stops working. And then this happens, which just put a chill down my spine, because if it happened here, I wouldn't know the Canadian national anthem. Listen to this.
Join Canadian country recording artist Brent Kissel in the singing of the American national anthem.
Brent Kissel is the guy's name. Listen.
Hey, is this working? Let's sing it together. Oh, so.
It's in Canada.
How cool is that?
You can almost detect the different pronunciation a little bit in them singing. Isn't that cool? I thought that was really good. It sent a chill down my spine to watch it because the crowd just all stood up and started singing the national anthem. And now maybe if you're a hockey fan and you've gone to a lot of hockey games where they'll play the Canadian anthem, you've picked up on the words over time. But I just thought that was impressive that everybody in Edmonton seemed to know the words to our national anthem, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Listen, they all started cheering at the end. Good for them. Good for that Grant Kissel for doing that. Then they all cheered at the end. You could see some of the players even mouthing it when they were standing out on the ice getting ready to play. Makes you feel good. Maybe we shouldn't be in a trade war with Canada after all, eh?
What's that all about?
Eh? What's it all about?
Sorry.
It's about milk and wood, apparently. But I guess that's still going on. I haven't heard any updates on it, but hopefully we can get that little trade issue worked out since they were so nice to us up in Edmonton. All right. So Sean Spicer is at the podium right now. He's holding his daily press briefing. He's been talking about the budget. He's talking about the priority for the wall and getting the wall built. And we're going to run some of the sound.